Some people didn't just go through pain, they grew up inside it. If you're listening to this, you're probably not looking for motivation. You're looking for understanding. Because when you've been through too much, noise feels unbearable, advice feels insulting, and hope feels distant. This message isn't here to fix you. It's here to sit with you in the part of your life no one else ever wanted to acknowledge. You didn't get the luxury of being careless. While others were figuring out who they were, you were figuring out how to endure. You learned how to read rooms before you learned how to relax. You learned how to stay quiet before you learned how to feel safe. And nobody noticed because you were mature for your age. That's what they call it when a child has to grow up before they're ready. Even now, your mind doesn't rest. It scans, it predicts, it prepares for impact. You replay conversations, you anticipate disappointment, you imagine worst-case scenarios, not because you're negative, but because being unprepared once hurt too much. Peace feels unfamiliar when chaos raised you. Silence doesn't always feel calm. Sometimes it feels dangerous. You're surrounded by people, but you still feel alone. Not because no one is there, but because no one really knows you. They know the version of you that functions. They don't know the version of you that collapses quietly at night. You learned early that explaining your pain made people uncomfortable, so you stopped explaining. And slowly, you stopped expecting to be understood. You don't get excited easily. You don't trust quickly. You don't open up without reason. You've seen how fast things can change, how quickly people leave, how suddenly safety disappears. So you keep distance, not because you're cold, but because you've learned attachment can be dangerous. You feel deeply, but you feel privately. There's a kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't touch. It lives in your bones, in your chest, in the space behind your eyes. It comes from years of holding yourself together when everything inside was falling apart, from being strong when you didn't have a choice, from surviving without ever feeling secure. You stopped asking for help because help didn't come. You stopped relying on people because reliance turned into regret. You became independent out of necessity, not confidence. Strong, but always alert. Capable, but rarely relaxed. You didn't harden because you wanted to. You hardened because staying soft hurt too much. There's a grief no one prepares you for. Not the grief of losing someone, but the grief of losing yourself. The version of you that never got to feel safe. The version of you that never got to be carefree. The version of you that was always waiting for the next thing to go wrong. You mourn a life you never lived, and you do it silently. There was a moment, maybe you remember it. The moment you understood that no one was coming to save you. No one was going to explain things. No one was going to make it fair. No one was going to take the weight from your hands. So you kept going. Not because you wanted to, but because stopping felt impossible. That realization changed you forever. You've lived multiple lives inside one body. You've seen endings others haven't faced yet. You understand loss, disappointment, and restraint on a level most people won't reach until much later, if ever. That's why shallow things don't satisfy you. You crave meaning because meaningless pain nearly destroyed you. They stop caring. They stop hoping. They numb themselves. Some become bitter. Some become reckless. Some become empty. If you've ever felt yourself slipping toward that edge, You're not weak. You were overwhelmed. Somehow, you stayed. Maybe not whole, maybe not hopeful, but present. You kept breathing through days that felt endless. You kept moving even when life felt meaningless. That matters more than you realize. Healing isn't suddenly being happy. It's being tired and choosing rest anyway. It's feeling anger and not turning it inward. It's learning that peace doesn't have to be earned through suffering. Healing is slow, quiet, unimpressive, but it's real. Your caution is intelligence. Your distance is wisdom. Your sensitivity is awareness. You didn't come out of pain weak. You came out observant, measured, deep. You don't chase chaos anymore because you've already lived inside it. You're allowed to choose calm over potential. You're allowed to choose peace over excitement. You've already proven you're strong. You don't need to suffer again to deserve rest. Your future doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to feel safe inside your body. A life where your shoulders relax, where your thoughts slow down, where your nervous system finally exhales. That life is not unrealistic. It's overdue. If you've been through too much and you're still here, that means something inside you refused to disappear. You are not weak. You are not damaged. You are not late. You are someone who survived what should have broken them, and now you get to build a life that feels quiet, steady, and calm. Stay.